Well, I'd like to take a moment and welcome you to a look at our Oklahoma Faith Rider ministry trailer. God has gifted us with an incredible ministry tool that we've been able to use to touch many lives and share the good news of the gospel with those that need to hear it. So today's video, we're going to take a look at setting this trailer up and tearing it down. As in most ministry tools, there is a method to everything that's in this trailer. A lot of it is just common sense, but we just want to go through the steps of setting this up to assist you a little bit. Some of the more critical parts is later on with the tie down of the motorcycle and so forth. But we're going to start today. The very first thing that's always good to do that doesn't get in the way is to install the television that comes with this. So there's a standard TV mount on the side of the trailer. This is just a normal residential type wall mount. The flat screen television is stored in the front with the styrofoam packaging that will protect it during transport. And as you can see, they're marked really well as to where each piece of that foam goes. It's not an extremely large TV, so there's not a lot of weight. We always use caution when getting it out of the trailer just to make sure that somebody doesn't trip and fall out holding that TV. So the first thing we'll do is just hangs on. It's best to make your electrical connections with the bottom of this kicked out. That'll give you better access to the jacks on the back side of it, and once you have those installed for your power and the DVD, then you can kick that bottom in. As we continue to open this trailer, the next thing we want to do is get the tent out. We have a 10 by 20 pop-up tent with the Faith Rider logo on the front of it. It's just a standard pop-up tent, a little larger than what we buy off the shelf, which is the 10 by 10s. So it's good to have at least two guys to set this up. If you have enough volunteers, 4 makes it really fast. You can put one person on each corner as the tent is spread out and prepared to raise. So we'll unpackage this tent, get it close to in position where we want it to go. As you'll notice now, with 2 volunteers, just alternate back and forth from corner to corner. As you spread this out, you'll need to get it completely extended before you start raising it. Like I said earlier, it is just a typical pop-up tent. Once you get it fully extended, then begin by snapping the top portion in first. Raise that up. There's a pin that will snap in place on all 4 corners. Then you can begin raising it to the height that you prefer. Just be sure to make sure it's the same height on all 4 legs. Before it gets too tall to reach everything, go ahead and pull those sides of that canopy down. Make sure all of the catches are completely snapped into place. Then you can put the tent into position. We've got one more step we'll do with it in just a moment. Now if it's raised at this height, you'll notice there's not enough room to shut the side door. So you'll need to make a determination whether to have that door open or closed before you get the tent in place. And then as you can see here, spaced around the tent are a series of straps that will better secure the fabric to the frame. These will need to be snapped all the way around. One item we didn't show, in a duffel bag we have a streamer of checkered pennant flags that can be tied up around the perimeter of this tent that add a really nice touch to the decorations. Now, anywhere you set this tent up in Oklahoma, it's going to be windy. That's a guaranteed thing. So we have 4 sandbags for each of the legs to help hold the tent down from any wind that might cause it to lift. Obviously, there are holes in the feet. You could put tent stakes in them, but it's not always set up on the grass. Sometimes it's on asphalt or concrete, and you'll need the sandbags to hold it down, and they do help tremendously. The next item we're going to put down is the display mat for the motorcycle. It's stored really nicely in 4 sections. This mat does come apart fairly easily. Most of you are probably familiar with this type of floor system. They are in 12 by 12 panels that snap together. If you take it completely apart, it will take quite a bit of time to put it together. So we've devised a way to just quarter it. But there's nothing that is permanently holding the rest of it together. So as you'll see in this video, there are times that it will come apart on you in other places and will need to be snapped back together. We just encourage you to do everything you can to keep it in the 4 quarters to simplify install and the tear down part of it. So lay these 4 quarters out the way that they're going to be on the ground in that position. You can see the interlocking loops on the back side of how the panels are held together. Now on a soft surface such as grass or dirt, it's nearly impossible to snap this together. So we just carry this 1x6 to assist for a hard surface to join the pieces together. So there is a right and a wrong way to do this. And as you can see, it's been laid out just a little bit wrong. We have mismatching pieces right there. Don't let this throw you off. All we need to do is just swap two of the corners. And once those are in place, then you just begin mashing the lugs down in the loops. And usually it helps to take a little, just a downward blow with the palm of your hand. And they should snap right in place. Remember, on that soft surface, keep that board right underneath there to assist snapping together. Once those two halves are together, reposition this, and we'll put the two halves together for a final fit. And just like I mentioned earlier, as you can see right here, some other pieces have come off. Just take the time right then to rejoin those. They are the same loop and hook type joining. Once everything's done, just get rid of that board, put it back in the trailer, keep it stored out of the way. This is what we use for the kickstand block, so go ahead and get it in place before the bike is rolled out, so it'll be ready for you when you get there. Unstrapping this bike is definitely a two-person project. You'll want to position a rider on the bike as you begin unstrapping it, just because of the weight and the length of it. One thing to keep in mind, this bike is not rideable. The clutch reservoir is empty. The brake reservoir is empty. The shift linkage has been unhooked. And since the brake reservoir is empty, it has no brakes. So you will need a backup person as you're rolling out of the trailer. You'll begin to start getting a look at the bike itself. This is the gift that the Lord has shared with us. It's important to remember that this is a ministry tool given to us by God. And don't just focus on it as a show tool or something to show off, but look at it as a ministry opportunity for those that are going to come and take a look at it. Use this bike as a means to open doors to share the gospel. That's what this entire trailer is all about. So as we continue to unstrap, just use caution with this. There's a lot of buckles, a lot of hooks around a lot of nice paint, and a lot of chrome. So just use caution getting those hooks and things out of the way so that a strap doesn't swing and get into the bike somewhere. Takes a lot of room to turn this motorcycle, as you can imagine. So in parking the trailer in the beginning, make sure you've got adequate clearance behind it to get that bike out the ramp. Just working on getting the bike centered on the mat right now. The kickstand does look a little flimsy, but it's never failed us, so you can depend on it to hold that bike up. You do need to have that kickstand block under it. So now that the bike's in place, there are several other items in this trailer that will assist you at an event. We have 2 6-foot tables. We're actually only going to set up one in this video just to save time, but the second one is right down beside that one. We've made a set of checkered tablecloths that are fitted for the 6-foot table. Obviously, feel free to set this booth up any direction or way that fits your particular venue. There is a front and a back to these tablecloths. The back is the short side. As you can see right there. We've included a display board. You can use this to put out any literature, flyers, cards. Got elastic straps to keep the wind from blowing those items away. So feel free to use that board in any way that you would need to. We also have a standalone speaker / sound system. It stores rather nicely, really compact. Be sure and spread that tripod base out for stability. And this stand will go probably higher than you can reach to put the speaker on it. Main thing to remember is to, whatever position you put that in, the main thing to remember is to put that locking pin in place that will keep that pole from sliding down. Has a mounting hole in the bottom that just sits on the stand. This is a really compact little unit. Runs off 110, runs off 12 volt off of your truck. It also has 2 batteries on the inside that will allow this to run on its own for about 8 to 10 hours. 4 channels. It will hold instruments, microphones, just about anything that you would want to plug in it, it will power. We find it very useful to just plug your iPhone and play your music and your tunes off of that. We have a complete bag of hookup cables. There's a pair there for plugging in a phone. All of the cables are in there for the DVD player that would hook to the TV. There's a microphone if you want to use for announcements or whatever purpose. Remotes to the TV and the DVD are in there. So a nice little bag of goodies there for electronic hookups. Several other things that we won't take out. There's that other table, the second table we talked about, and the second tablecloth. There's two more 10 by 10 tents that we keep up front here. They can be used for any other purpose. We have set those up on the side for a bike blessing area only. There's 4 folding chairs that could be used. Not as comfortable as your bag chairs, but better than no chairs that are stored right up front. Of course, we keep a broom up there for any clean out. We've got a pretty good variety of things in this area. Fire extinguisher, should anything occur. There's some cleaning supplies, bungee straps. There's an old first aid kit with some band-aids. And just other goodies within there. There's a battery tender. Tongue lock for the trailer. It's always a good idea to secure that. Same key that fits the padlocks on the trailer will fit that tongue lock. Just an assortment of things here. There's a nice floor jack in the event that that you have a flat tire. Set of road flares right beside it, or not flares, I'm sorry, it's triangles, and then a spare tire. So that's pretty much the setup and what all it's entailed. We're just going to do a quick run through now of a couple of key items on the teardown. And probably the most critical of all is getting this bike strapped down for hauling to the next location. As with any motorcycle of this weight, you know the details installed with securing one to a trailer. Then you increase that substantially by the long forks on it. It makes the bike want to twist a lot more on the ride. So we do have a proven method of strapping it down. It almost looks like overkill on the straps, but we have never had it fail if it's strapped down properly. Important to crisscross those right behind the headlight across the forks and slip one sleeve on each of the grips. And you're going to have to position this so that you have clearance on the clutch lever. The second hook needs to hook back in itself. There's not room there for the second hook in the eyelet, so just hook it back in itself. And then just begin tightening down each side equally as you would any tie down. There's quite a bit of shock travel in that front end, so we do not want to collapse those completely, although they're going to collapse a fair amount. And that won't be the final tightening. We'll get the other straps in place and then do a complete check around. Still got good clearance between the handlebars, the side of the trailer. We'll make this short tie. And that strap was crossed, so make sure the straps are not crossed as he began to install it. Tighten that down not too much or you'll have that handle grip rubbing the side of the trailer. We'll make a long stretch across here now just to secure that. Should you be in a situation where you're going to trailer this to an event and you want your bike, there is adequate room right where he's standing for a second large bike. It can be tied down as well. Then you go back and start rechecking the tension on all these straps. We do want everything snug. It's a good look at what the front looks like. Really at that point it's okay to get off. Now we've stayed on there for that entire process just to stabilize that bike. Just need a small strap on the back to keep the back end from jumping around on the bounce. And remember to loop that through twice. If you just run it through one time, it's not going to hold. So loop that little small strap twice around that back tire before you secure it and tighten it down. And always give it a good shake when you think you're done. See if anything's loose anywhere on it. Now we'll start going back with this tent. Just a couple of tips. Very simple, but don't forget to unstrap or unsnap the straps that are around this tent. It will not collapse and fold the way that it needs to without damaging the fabric if you don't. Tables just reverse order, they fold up. Go right back in the slot for them. The sound system the same way. And the TV. Obviously use caution when you're putting that back in the front storage position. Make sure to get the foam inserts in place so as to protect that going down the road. Okay, this mat can be just about as tricky as anything taking it apart. The important thing to remember is to quarter it again and try to keep it just in those 4 pieces. If it comes apart in smaller pieces, that's fine. It can all be put together, but it is time consuming, and you will be much happier if you get it separated in quarters. And we actually started it the wrong direction right there, so I snapped it back into place. I'm just kind of putting it back together so when we do get tore apart. But it's a matter of simply lifting half of it and pressing down on the other half to get the separation that you need. Those pieces that just came unsnapped, just snap those back together before you begin moving it. Same way, pull up on half of it, hold down on the other half, and once you get started, it will separate fairly easily. And there you have 4 pieces that can be carried one at a time and restored in the slots. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to use the Faith Rider Ministry Trailer. My prayers are that God will bless you richly and that lives will be changed because of this ministry tool. We would love to see pictures of the ministry trailer when you set it up at your event. And you could email those to mark@oklahomafaithriders.com. If you've seen anything along the way that would improve this trailer, please feel free to share that. We would welcome your comments, ideas, and suggestions. Thanks once again. God bless you. And remember, keep bragging on Jesus.